Story segment tonight. This week, Sarah Palin gave a speech at the Wine Spirits Convention in Vegas. Well, after that, the pro-pot people, it's a group called Nevadans for Sensible Marijuana Laws, began lobbying the governor to speak at one of their events. They're offering her $25,000, but there's a hitch. She also has to acknowledge that pot is a, quote, legitimate recreational substance that should be taxed. With us now, Steve Fox, who's the director of the state campaigns for the Marijuana Policy Project and the author of the book, Marijuana is Safer, So Why Are We Driving People to Drink? It is great to see you. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about this. Now, this is kind of a cute little ploy that this Nevadan pro-pot group is doing, but they didn't really think Palin was going to accept, right? It was just a way to get attention.
The truth is that we didn't expect her to accept, and you know, unfortunately that's the way many elected officials are today, and the reason we did it is because she was out there speaking to the alcohol industry, and our point is that marijuana is simply a less harmful recreational substance than alcohol, and it's incredibly irrational to punish adults who choose to use marijuana instead of alcohol.
Her speaking fee is about $75,000 a speech, so you had to triple that, and maybe no. I have a question. Would you smoke pot before an appearance like this?
No. I mean, it might calm me down, but probably it wouldn't be a good idea. Just like you wouldn't have a Mai Tai, which you might enjoy afterward.
Would you smoke pot every day? I mean, would you recommend to someone that smoking pot every day, no big deal?
Would I recommend? You know, some people, it's really no different than alcohol. You wouldn't want to abuse alcohol. You wouldn't want to abuse marijuana. But it really is just something that people use in place of alcohol.
Now, do you think alcohol-based, I'm just trying to understand the argument, that alcohol, and look, alcoholism, you know, wrecked families, wrecked lives, you know, that is a given, and right. I would agree with you on that. Yep. But the argument that alcohol has wrecked lives and has killed people and helped, you know, all these drunk driving deaths and so forth, if it's really bad, then go after alcohol and point out the evils of alcohol, but that doesn't then make pot, you know, preferable. I just don't understand that argument, because we still don't really know, do we, long-term effects of pot use, except we do know head and throat cancers and obviously lung cancers, all the things that, no cancer risks at all for pot smoking.
No, and you can look it up. Nope, there have actually been studies. But the point is here, responding to what you said, is that you say there's no reason to, even if it is less harmful, to give people that choice. But that's the point we're making. You acknowledge that alcohol is harmful, but if the alcohol industry came out tomorrow and held a press conference and said, we have discovered a new alcohol that won't give you a hangover, can't kill you, doesn't lead to domestic violence and other forms of abuse, and everyone would be celebrating. And that's what we have in marijuana, but we steer people toward using the more harmful substance, and it makes absolutely no sense.
But it makes you really hungry. All right, let's talk though about what your ultimate goal is here. Your goal is to have, if you had your druthers, a national edict that basically the federal laws on just marijuana should be done away with for recreational use.
Absolutely.
When does it kick in to be a problem? When you have a certain amount of pot?
Well, it will be done on the state level, which I hope conservatives would appreciate, that each state would determine what makes sense for the public health and safety of their citizens. And, you know, in what we're proposing in Nevada right now, through the group you mentioned before, there would be each adult could possess up to an ounce.
Right. If you were going to get, you know, surgery, pretty important surgery, would you want a stoner to operate on you? Someone who you knew used pot regularly. Would you want that person to do, let's say, brain surgery?
I really wouldn't have any more concern than if that person had vodka tonics after work to relax.
Really? Yeah. Really. How about if you talking to your kids today and you say, well, look, there's a lot of dangers out there. Pot is, look, here's a bong, here's some rolling papers. Go to it.
Yeah, the same way you wouldn't give them a bottle of vodka and say, here, chug this. But we want to give them
But then here's the difference. Here's the difference, and here's where I think you lose people, is that we have thousands of years of a tradition, frankly, of alcohol use. Thousands of years. Yep. We really don't know long-term effects on the brain of marijuana use. We do know it's a deteriorated lung function. We know that. Actually, you would agree with that. It's not inhaling, you know, smoke of any type is not good for you long-term.
We can't say forever that we don't know, because the truth is that tens of millions of Americans have been using marijuana for decades now, and the government has been trying to prove how harmful this is, and they just haven't. And we need to give our kids honest education. We're literally driving adults and children to drink, and alcohol can kill people, and marijuana can't.
Do you drink?
I do drink, yeah, occasionally.
So it's,
it's fine.
Just trying to understand, folks. Mr. Fox.